Okay. So today, 3-2 win. Was the main thing the 3 points?
Always, yeah. It's always the main thing. Really, it's great to get 3 points after the 5 defeats we've had, and yeah, everyone's delighted that we got the 3 points. A little bit closer than we wanted to be in the end, but great to get the 3 points.
And what did Chris say before the game to the players?
He's just like, go out and enjoy it, work hard, stick together as a team, and literally just go and work hard. Try and stop the rot, get the ball forward as quick as we can to put them under pressure, and we did that.
It certainly worked first half, of course.
Yeah, it did definitely. We were 3-0 at half time. It was a great start for us and great start for Chris. He's probably delighted at half time, obviously, but not so much in the second half.
And just finally, from your point of view, how's the ankle? Is it the ankle?
No, it's my toe. I've had it for about 3 weeks now, to be honest. I've had to come out of training a few times, and it was touch and go really whether I'd actually play today, but down to the bare bones, so I had to sort of go and play as long as I could, and it was sore when I was coming off. Hopefully I'll be okay.
Do you know how long you'll be out for?
I'm not sure yet. I'm going to go and probably have an X-ray on it on Monday, Tuesday, and then we'll go from there.
Well, fingers crossed it's not too soon.
Cheers, thank you.
Alright, cheers, Daryl. Thank you. Cheers. Kayan, how was that for you today?
It was good. First half, I thought really enjoyable. We did our stuff, got ourselves back on track. There was a little part of the second half where we went a little bit like we have been in recent weeks, but no, boys dug in and got the result.
Was it, from a defensive point of view, was it really pleasing for you that when it went 3-2, the defending was, real top quality?
It had to be because obviously as a defender we let it get to 3-2. The most important thing about today was getting the result. That's what we were all geared on, personally. I'm the grumpiest man in the world when we don't get a clean sheet. But we dug in, and maybe in recent weeks we might not have got that result.
Your partnership with Tyrone Sterling today seemed to be an instant hit. How was it for you today?
Yeah, he's a good player. When you get a good player like that, you slot him in anywhere on the pitch, he can do his job. He's quick, strong, done well, and he's a nice lad as well, so I think he'll do well.
And with the new manager in charge, how's that been for you?
Yeah, it's like I've had it at a couple of clubs where new man's come in, and you know that everyone's trying to impress him. At the end of the day, everyone's fighting for their place, everyone's fighting for a job for next year, really. So you always get a reaction. I think you notice that up and down the leagues, where a new manager comes in and you get a result. But no, lads are trying to impress him. Like I said, because fighting for contracts and places.
And finally, you had the captain's armband today. Is that yours to keep?
I don't know, I'll have to see. We'll keep bossing the lads around and see whether he'll give it to me.
Okay. Congratulations on your first win today. What was your assessment of the performance today?
I was pleased with the way we worked hard for the team. Everyone worked. First half was perfect, really. What we talked about, we tried to apply that. It's 3-0 at half time, and I think it could have been 5 or 6, couldn't it? We came out, they gambled a bit and threw people forward and got it forward. We got a little bit tired, but then players started dropping like flies, didn't they? Macca went off, obviously Cess was struggling, so we had to just make sure that we got people out there. We ended up with a right winger playing right back, a left back playing centre midfield, but it shows you great character, because these have scored 3 goals against Salisbury, haven't they? Scored 3 goals against Welling, but I'm really pleased with them, really. The way things are going as well, they've turned it round, they've stopped the rot, as they say, and we'll hopefully move on from here.
And what were the main positives for you during that game?
Well, the way everyone tried to apply what we talked about before the game, the first half, that was the main positives, and the way, the togetherness. There weren't people, when we were let 2 in, they weren't digging each other out and having a go. They're really great team spirit, really, and they're a good bunch of lads, and hopefully we can push on from here. But it'll take a little while, but the character's right.
And on the flip side, what will you be working on after that game?
Well, obviously sharpness and a bit more stamina is probably the wrong word, but just to let that little bit of urgency. But again, if people play out of position, they do tire quicker because they're a little bit more nervous, and they're not quite sure. They lose the awareness of where they are. So, but we'll just work on what we tried to do the first half, and we were more of a working on the positives rather than negatives, and if we carried it on now for 60 minutes the next game, or 70 minutes, I'll be more than pleased. But you know, we got the way we played that first half with Moses and May doing so well. They ripped them apart, didn't they? And the wide lads really got at them as well. So we were pleased. Just hopefully we can get the sickness and illness out of the camp and push on.
And how much? And with the injuries, I mean, you've got a number of players out. How much has that impacted your first game in charge?
It's impacted. I think it's impacted the club, really, hasn't it? The last few weeks, hasn't it? There's been a lot of injuries and illnesses, but yeah, as I say, you don't normally play a right winger, right back, do you? You don't usually play a left back, centre midfield. So it was, but great character, as I say. It's first, all we wanted to do was win. Really, we wanted to carry on the set. We talked about it at half time, just carry it on and that, but it wasn't to be. We've got a few injuries and it knocks the balance. If you change the side about too much, it does knock the balance, and we're all about getting the right balance.
And was that the main reason why Truro were able to get back in the game, do you think?
Well, I think at 3-0 down, they've got nothing to lose. They can just throw people forward, can't they? And yeah, changing the side about. If we could have stayed with how we started the game, even though the lads that came on worked really hard for the side, I would never say that. I think we've probably gone on and probably scored a few more. But all of a sudden, it's you know, we've had to take Lloyd from the left side to the centre, and you know, we've had to pull Ricky back, whereas he was getting at the left back, wasn't he, in the first half, and causing lots of problems. It sort of stopped us getting forward, and obviously they were able to get a little bit more of the ball.
And with Harrington starting on the left, what was your thinking before the game on that?
With his great left foot, really. I mean, he hits great crosses in, doesn't he? He's still only 19. I mean, it's quite a small side as well. But I knew that, or I'd like to think that he'd get the ball on the left hand side and whip it in for the Ben May, and which he did really. We had to change it about, I thought. But he's still a young lad. I mean, I think he's going to be a really good player for the club.
Another player that stood out today was Tyrone Sterling on his debut. You must be delighted that he was able to play today.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we know he's a good player. I've been trying to get him for a number of years. Tyrone, he's still relatively young. Looks quick, doesn't he? I mean, that's a bonus he scores, but he does get goal scoring chances. We just got to, as I say, get used to each other. I thought the pair of them at the back, the captain was brilliant. And also, you know, the whole back four were really, I suppose. Tom Winter, I thought, was great as well. But again, there's not anyone there I was disappointed with, really. They all gave it. You know, Bazza in the midfield there, I thought did really well. But Kogan, so as I say, all the way round, we're really pleased.
And was it pleasing from your perspective to see the stand full of Dover fans today? Attendance rate 124.
How many?
824 today.
That's good. That's good. No, to be fair, people have made me feel welcome. The moment I said I was coming there, the people have sort of got behind me and the club. But I mean, you know, if they're behind me, that means they're behind the players, and that's what we've got to do. As I say, you know, when we let 2 goals in, it went a bit quiet, but there was no digging out the players, and they were still cheering us on, which was pleasing, really, and that's why the lads probably hung on in there for that. You know, if it had got on their back, the lads would have got a bit disappointed, I suppose. But no, I'm pleased with that. Hopefully they keep coming back, and say just the first half. Hopefully that's how we're going to try and play for 90 minutes, and that maybe take a few games, but that is the aim.
On the injury front, we spoke to Daryl earlier. How's Chris Sessignon?
He's had that ongoing ankle, but it's his left ankle, then it's his right ankle, then it's his shin. He's 19-year-old. You know, he's going to get these impact injuries, isn't he? We just have to wait to see if it settles down. He tends to get injured, and then he's all right for the next game, doesn't he? But hopefully it's not too bad.
And any other injury concerns?
No, I think there's a few sickness, like Billy Britnell. He couldn't even get on the bench today. He's been sick. Tomo, he's at home in bed. He's sick as well. So it was all hands to the pump, wasn't it? And fair crack to the lads. They pulled round.
And for next week's game, will you have any extra players available to you?
Yeah, Ranch should be back, won't he? And Webby. So, you know, all of a sudden we've you know, there's something different we can do there. So it's a long time, 7 days. A lot can happen with players and get ill, or you know, we can get people back, as you say. So hopefully we're getting close to a full squad, but it could take a little while.
And finally, looking forward to next week's game. Obviously, we're playing the team at the opposite end of the table in Welling. What do you make of next week's game? What do you expect from Welling coming to Cravel?
No, they're a decent side. That's why they're up there. All sides that are up there are decent sides, aren't they? I mean, the manager there and coaches have been there quite a while, haven't they? And they've slowly built their side. It didn't happen straight away, does it? That's how you do. It takes a few years to sort of build a side, and everybody get to know each other. And fortunately, it's come to fruition now. But last year they were in the playoffs as well. I mean, they're in a great catchment area, aren't they, down there in London there? So it does make a difference. But no, they're a good side. There's no doubt. Everybody works hard for the side, and that's something that we're trying to get with our team, and it will come along.